Crafting Vicky here with you. I hope you're doing well. It's been a hot minute since I've been on YouTube, and actually YouTube reminded me this week that I hadn't posted for a very long time, and yeah, so I thought it was kind of ironic that they're asking me about posting when they hardly ever send anything my way. But anyway, it's I miss you guys a lot. It's been a difficult journey, I will admit. And today we're going to do some recycled Christmas cards, as I'm going to chat with you guys because I've got a lot to tell you guys. So we'll start off with this one. I've got multiple of it, and I thought it'd be fun to do like, I'm going to cut it into two pieces, but I thought it could be fun to superpose some of the images to raise it up and create something else with it. So that's the first card we're going to do. I don't know how long it's going to take because it's going to be a little bit more fancy. So we might not do a lot of cards, or we might do a lot. I have no clue. We shall see. But I know that you guys will be happy just that I'm showing up. And because I'm going to be cutting it in two, actually, the image is going to be pretty much the full thing. So I'll probably just use, maybe I can just use a you know, a red background with the white to make it pop. So that's gonna be the goal. So I'm gonna cut. Well, I don't need to cut both because anyway, I'm gonna be hand cutting the other elements. So I'm gonna cut it about this, and it's about the same size, so should be good. And these were sent to me by a wonderful viewer, so thank you so much. You see that I use up your stuff when you send it to me. So yeah, I hope that you guys have been doing well. In my case, it's been something. As you probably know, because I've posted about it, but in post I didn't necessarily. I'm not sure if I did a video. I might have explained it in a video where I got some Happy Mail, but that's about it. So back in May, I was definitely not doing good mentally, and I was not in a good place, and there was a lot of stuff going on at work, and so I ended up going on sick leave. And I only went on full sick leave, like completely off work, for a month, and then I went back. I started back to work, but like 2 hours a day every day, and then increased that, and I was doing a lot better, and I was hoping that I was going to be back full-time after my vacation in the month of August. However, it didn't end up being a vacation because we got flooded by the sewers. There was a heavy rain following Hurricane Debbie, and our street, the way it works, at the end of the street, they have problem with getting the rainwater to go in the sewers. Like, it doesn't suffice. So basically the city always puts a big pump to pump out the water from that area into the sewers of my side of the street. However, because the rain was so heavy, our sewers was already like overflowing, so that added water created the system just couldn't handle it, and because of that, it overflowed in houses, including mine. And it was the first time it's ever happened, and we've had the house for quite a long time. I mean, we've been there since '95, so it's been a long time, and this was the first time ever that we had sewers back up, and it completely destroyed my basement. We lost a lot of the stuff that we had in there, everything that was not, and even stuff that was in bins. Because of the level, I mean, I had water, the water raised almost to the seat, the toilet seat, and it came in through the shower drain, and so like even the stuff that was in bins, the bins overturned and water went into it. So the only thing we were able to salvage, I lost a lot of pictures. The only thing we were able to salvage was stuff that was in wood. We're gonna have to refinish it, but at least we were able to salvage some of it. But anything that was pressed wood that went out, we had to tear the flooring down, the subfloor. Right now my basement is on concrete, basically, and there was so many people that were affected by this that there's no contractor that's available, so we have to do the work ourselves. So that's an added pressure, and like I said, we lost so much. It wasn't even funny. It was just a nightmare, and we put stuff on the curb to be picked up by the city, and then people would go through our trash and would make a mess of the bags and open them up, and then you have to put the trash back together. It was, and what's worse with this is that we know that this means that people were picking up stuff to sell it afterwards, so, or use it, but I doubt it. I'm thinking more like resell it. However, they're not going to tell people that that stuff was in sewer water, so it's just horrendous. We had to bring out the vanity, and we had left the like, we just brought the vanity out with the sink and the faucets and everything in it, and somebody came and smashed the sink to get to the faucet, left the ceramic of the sink everywhere. It was nightmarish, and so that was my week of vacation, and then I went back to work, and obviously this was a lot. Like, I mean, it was a lot, and it pushed me back. I ended up falling again, and I think it was even worse than the first time around. It was like I was really not in a good place. And it was very difficult to get back up, but I did it, and I'm now back full-time. I did my first week full-time this past week, so I'm quite happy with that, and I'm hoping that this continues, and that from now on it's going to be better. But I'm not sure that what I had, like, I've had depression before in the past, and it might be, some of it might be that, but I have a feeling, I found out last Monday, that I am now menopaused. And last year when I had been tested, my hormone level was not even in the range of menopause. So I don't know what happened within a year, but I know that in 2023, when I had seen my doctor at the time, I'd asked if it was possible that I was starting my menopause, because I was feeling like lack of energy, and I had all sorts of other stuff that was happening. And so the doctor tested me, but it came back that it wasn't that. So then I took that out of my mind. However, now that I find out that I'm now wondering if a lot of the symptoms that I attributed to depression were actually due to menopause, and if that is one of the reasons why I wasn't reacting to the medication that I'm taking the same way as I've done in the past. and I've had a lot of side effects, which I've never had in the past, and which cause, like, I have really, really bad heartburns, and I get dizziness and all sorts of other stuff, which obviously doesn't help feeling better, you know. And so now I'm wondering if a lot of that is not due to the menopause, and if that's the case, it would explain why the medication was not doing what it was supposed to do, and why my body is reacting the way it is. And it also would explain a lot of the other symptoms, like I had gained some weight, which I lost now because of the medication that I'm taking, because it's increasing my metabolism, but it causes havoc on my system. And so now I'm wondering if it's not something else, and if I could not be treated by some other things, because, you know, like, I was, one of my issues last spring was the fact that I had a lot of trouble sleeping. Like, I would wake up during the night and I wouldn't be able to fall back asleep, and I know that in menopause, one of the things that you can have is insomnia. So it could be partially that, and I also know that when I lack sleep, I react to it very quickly, and I spiral really quickly. My lack of sleep to me is one of the biggest trigger factor. So and I wasn't taking any pills for sleep at the time, so I've got a feeling that all of that might have been part of the issues. Of course, I'm never going to know. I'm seeing my doctor soon again, and I'm going to be asking her about menopause, and if it's possible, because I've had also little pimples, like I've had acne, like I've never had. When I was a teenager, I never had acne, and now as a 50-year-old, I'm getting acne. Like, this is crazy. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on with my system that I'm not quite sure I follow. But one thing for sure that I realize is that my energy level is definitely not what it used to be. And so this brings me to my other thing that I wanted to mention in this video, which is I had to look at my life and make some decisions, because there's I only have so much energy, and I need to spend it wisely, and I don't want to fall again. So I had to look at what's going on with my life, and one of the things, I work full-time, as you know, so that's one thing that's something that's not gonna go away, at least for now, until I retire. And the other thing is, I'm trying to get a business going with my Etsy store and with Patreon. And so that takes a lot of energy, and I was realizing that I wasn't posting. I love gathering stuff at thrift stores to sell on my Etsy store, because I don't know if I've mentioned it in the past, but when I was a teenager, my mom had an antique store, and I loved going out on the hunt for stuff, and I really missed it. And as I got older, I started thrifting to find stuff for my craft, and I started realizing that there was some other stuff that would be fun to purchase, but I can't keep everything to myself. So look at that, isn't that fun? So if you have multiple cards, that might be a great way of using them. So now we're going to put this on the snow. No, actually we're going to try to figure out a sentiment. So I have my sentiments here, my digital sentiments, and one of the things that also is happening is it's hard to sell my digital items on Etsy, because of the fact that every time you post something on Etsy, they take a fee. So it costs you to post images and stuff to sell on Etsy, and then when you sell it, they take another cut of your sell. So when you're looking at digital images, which are digital sets, which are not being priced very high, well, if they take a cut on it, it means that there's really not that much left. And so I've had to let go of a lot of my digital images because, you know, I was selling a few here and there, but not enough to warrant every 3 months, because the listing expires after 3 months. So every 3 months I would have to list it again and incur the fee again of Etsy. And Etsy's like really going for it. They even, because now they have to pay tax in Canada, so now they are charging back the people that are sellers in Canada for that fee. So basically I'm paying the fee for them, which, you know, like I could go on another site, but the good thing with Etsy is the fact that they remit the tax, so I don't have to worry about that, and that's why I stay on there. But this being said, for digital image purpose, it's really not worth it to put them there, and so I would let it go. I don't know if I want to put Season's Greeting or Merry Christmas. So I would let go my images and not post them again. But now Patreon has set up stores for us, so we can actually sell digital items or videos on Patreon. So now my digital sets, like card sets, card toppers, and eventually all my digital wordings like this will be sold exclusively on Patreon, because Patreon only takes the fee when the item actually is sold, which makes sense, because I mean it's hosting it on its platform, so it makes sense that, and they're doing the transactions and everything, so it makes sense that they take a fee. But not every time I post it. So that's my new thing. I've started posting stuff there, and there's going to be more and more of it. And so if you're looking for digital things, go and check it out. I've also started to offer some of my Patreon videos for sale, so you can purchase just the viewing of that video. Obviously it's there, you know, like there's a fee, and honestly, like it might be more worth it for you guys to actually become Patreon than to pay for just one video. But I still wanted to offer it in case people really were only interested in one video. I've also started to put out also the freebie sheets, because I create freebie sets for my Patreons every month, and so those sets I've also offered now for sale on Patreon. So if you're interested, you can go and purchase those. Obviously the same thing as for my digital images, it's for your own personal use and not to be shared. But yeah, so there's that. So that's exciting stuff. And through this process I realized that, okay, so I've got limited energy, so what do I want to do with my energy? I definitely want to keep doing my Etsy store of vintage items, because I really like sourcing those out, and I can't just accumulate stuff, so it's a good way of doing it. Plus I love being able to actually bring something to somebody that wouldn't normally be able to find it, because those are vintage items, so sometimes it's harder to find them. They're, you know, it could be a set of mugs that went with the sale of a set of plates or whatever, and your mug's broke, but you know you want to keep your set. So if I sell the mugs, it brings joy to whoever's finding it, because they're completing their set, and it's a nice gift. There's also a lot of people that or because they're looking for retro items for their decor and stuff like that. So anyway, all this to say that I love doing it, so that I want to keep. Then there's my Patreon. I love that group so much. I feel like they're friends. I think I prefer the green, so we're gonna go with the green, and I will line it up with red. So I love that group, and I want to continue doing Patreon, so that's not going away. And not only is it not going away, I'm also, like I said, I now give them freebies every month. I also have them vote on what card videos they want for the following month, and that is really fun. And we've got a really good community. I love being able to be more honest on Patreon. Not that I'm dishonest on YouTube, but what I mean by that is that there's certain things I can say to a smaller group of people than putting it on YouTube, because YouTube it's a lot of people, and there's a lot of judgment and everything that goes in it, and I know that there's a bunch of you that are super supportive, but there's also people that leave really nasty comments and stuff, and you know, like it's not the same as my Patreon group. So that for sure I want to keep. So now we've said that I need to keep my job, I need to keep I want to keep my Etsy, and I want to keep my Patreon, and I obviously want to keep my family, and I want to spend time with them. And so, and I also want to do other activities like reading. I've started reading a lot more, and I really enjoy that. So I want to do that as well. And so there comes YouTube. And I used to post a whole lot on YouTube. And originally when I started YouTube, I started it way back in 2016, I think. At the time, I was a designer for multiple artists. So basically, they would have images for sale, and I would use those images and create items out of them, and then showcase them. And originally it was only on my blog, and then I got kind of bored and I wanted to do more, so then I started doing it on YouTube, and that took off, and it was kind of a hobby and it was fun. And then I got my channel monetized, but you know, like I said, YouTube really doesn't pay. It's like you're getting peanuts for all the time and energy that you're putting into it. And it's fine if it's just a hobby, but I really do want my crafting business as well as my Etsy business to become something important, because that's where my heart is. And so I miss you guys, and I want to give you free content, but at the same time I have to also consider my health. And so I came to the hard decision that I have to cut down, and obviously I cut down way down. I stopped posting altogether because I just didn't have the energy at all. But now what I'm thinking of doing is possibly doing one video a month on YouTube, and the rest I'm going to be posting on Patreon. And I would love to be actually, like, if I increase numbers of videos, I would love for it to be to my Patreons, honestly. So that's where it's going to happen. I know that it's going to be a lot of people are going to be disappointed or going to be upset with me. I had a lot of people asking if I was just going to do Patreon from now on, and I understand that not everybody can afford to join Patreon. I do have a very low tier, and that tier has access to all the freebies. They get the polls for the cards, and they get the video. So this is how it turned out. I love how it turned out. Now I just have to make sure that I don't put my fingers in the stickles until it dries, but isn't that fun? And you know, it was this originally to that, so I think it really is fun. But you have to be wanting to fussy cut, because clearly that takes time. So I've got a feeling that the only other card we're going to do is the other side of this, just because this video is going to be very long and it's going to take forever to edit and to post. But I'm happy to be able to do so because I wanted to chat with you guys. And like I said, I really do miss you guys, and I love that some of you reached out to me via Facebook to message me, or via Instagram. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I think I'm going to go with the green for this one. I really, really appreciate it. And I needed to see it. So yeah, and I love chatting with you guys in the comments as well of my videos, and I miss hearing about what's going on in your life, because I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and as we were touched this summer with the flooding, I know that a lot of people were touched with hurricanes and all through the world, different things that are happening. And yeah, so I want to hear about what's going on in your life. So yeah, so that I know it's gonna be a mix, probably more people being upset with me for doing that. I'm hoping that some of you guys do understand, however, that there has to come a time where I have to make choices. If I was doing this, if I was not working full-time, things would be much different, because then I could do this and do more videos for YouTube, and I would have time for it. But as it is, I really don't, and I have to stop fooling myself into thinking that I can do everything, because clearly I can't. And I've shown it yet again that if I use up more energy than I have, then I end up falling, and everybody's paying the consequence. My employer, my family, myself, obviously. And every time I fall, it becomes a lot harder to pick myself back up, and I end up scaring myself, and that's what happened this time. And that's also why I really stopped filming for YouTube, because I was not in a good place, and I don't want my channel to be negative. I want it to be positive, and I want to be happy when I do videos for you guys. I don't want to end up crying and being a mess. So, you know, I just had to take a break, and now that I'm doing better, that I can be back. But I also know that if I was to go back, I mean, at one point on YouTube, I was making videos every single day. So there's a ton of videos on YouTube that you can go watch. Obviously, please be gentle with the fact that my filming and setup and everything, it was a lot different, and my editing also. So, you know, like, it's things have evolved, and yeah, so, and you know, like, if I was a huge channel and I was making a lot of money on YouTube and I could afford to do just that, things would be much different. But it's not the case, and I'm a very small channel versus some others, and so yeah, I just have to. There's a lot of crafters that I love that also I see I've reduced the number of posting that they do, because it just becomes a lot, and it's not just the making of the video, but it's the posting, and then obviously, like, I want to comment back with, you know, like if you guys take time to leave comments, I want to reply to them, but that also takes time. So, you know, like it's not as easy as just posting, just filming and that's it, you know, like there's a lot more involved in it. So yeah, it's a really difficult decision for me to take, because I miss you guys, but I also have to be honest with myself and to protect myself against what I usually do, which is run out of energy. And so that's it. So that's what's going on. So if you're interested in my Patreon, you can go and check it out. As I said, you can go also and just purchase some videos. You can also just purchase some of the freebies, because I've done some freebies for Christmas stuff, Christmas image, and all sorts of stuff like that. I've done card toppers, so there's a lot there if you're interested. And obviously that supports my business and my crafty side. And because I'm no longer doing this just as a hobby as I used to, and I don't represent anymore other artists, because that also was taking a lot of time, making my blog and everything. It was a lot. So, and when you represent other artists, you have to post in challenges and stuff, because that's the way other people see your work, and you have to post a lot on Facebook and in different groups, and so that also became a lot. So I gave that up a while ago, and I had kept doing YouTube, just YouTube. But then when I discovered Patreon, and I started dabbling in that, and then when I decided to sell vintage items, well, everything took a different route. And as you know, I purchased a house where my studio is housed. It's the downstairs of house, and the upstairs has tenants, which also means that I have to take care of the outside of this place, and, you know, like rake the leaves, not only at my house but also here. So it's another side of business that I love, but it also takes time and energy. So that's the card. I'm not sure, I don't think I'm gonna put a sentiment on this one. I'm thinking I kind of like having it just that way. So that's how it's gonna stay. So those are the two cards I've made. I hope that you guys are not too upset with me. I love you guys so much, and I do intend to be on YouTube, just not as often as I used to. And I don't have a choice. I have to choose my health, and I have to choose my family. And I talked to my husband about this, because I was so torn with the decision and everything, but he was in agreement with me, because he knows me, and he knows how this affects me, you know, like. So yeah, so there's that. Also, I'm really upset because Canada Post is on strike, and so I don't know if I'm even going to be able to do Christmas cards this year, because they've been on strike now for a full week, which means that it's already created havoc on all the items that were in the shipping system. So that's a nightmare, and so if they don't stop the strike before the end of next week, then I don't see the point of mailing out any Christmas cards, because who knows when they're actually going to be received. They might be received well into January. So that also is very upsetting, because I make a lot of Christmas cards and I send them out to people, and I love to send those out. So if you don't get a Christmas card from me, please know it's not because I don't want to, it's because Canada Post has decided to strike. And that also created another big havoc, because as I said, I sell stuff on Etsy, so I need to ship it out. My main method of shipping was Canada Post, and so I had to turn around and find some other shipment method, and unfortunately, well, fortunately, I did find something. So there's another way I can ship out the items I sell, which is great because now is the big time of the year where I make more sales because people are purchasing gifts for their loved ones. But the place where I have to drop it off is half an hour away from a house. So that means a full hour of traveling to get there, drop my package, and then come back. So yeah, not optimum because the post office is about 10 minutes from my house. So it makes a big difference into my day activity. And when I go back to work physically, I actually was able to usually just drop the postal stuff at the reception because the postman would just pick it up when he would pick up the company mail. So that was very convenient, but now that's not happening. So yeah, it's been a year. I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to be, I can't believe we're already at the end of November. I'm a bit freaked out by that, but at the same time, I'm not going to be sad when this year moves along because it's been a year. It's been a year, and not in a good way. I'm hoping that 2025 is going to be a year of health and happiness and then joy for everybody, and hopefully less of those terrible climate event that we seem to be getting more and more, which is also something that is troubling because this was the first time that we've ever had a sewer flood, but I've got a feeling that if climate change is happening the way it is, and there's more and more of those occurrences, that means that this might not be the last time. And as we're getting older, my husband and I, there's a limit to how much work we can actually do. We were very lucky that my husband is so good that he was able to do remove the gyp and remove the underflooring and have it air out, remove the insulation as well, because otherwise mold will just start. And I can't even begin to tell you the smell that was in the house. Like, it was disgusting. So you really have to pull out everything as soon as you can. But in my neighborhood, there's a lot of older folks, and you can see that they can't do it by themselves. So now the big decision is to, what do we do with the basement, and how do we set it up so that should this occur again, first of all, we don't lose so much, and that we don't have as much work involved in cleaning it back up. So that's what we're trying to set up. We decided to do a concrete flooring, so we're having a company come and put concrete and do a special finish on top, but we didn't want to put it directly on the basement floor because it was going to be really cold. So now my husband is installing heated flooring, and it's been very difficult because obviously we don't have the knowledge and all of that, and we would have loved to find a company to do it for us, but they're all busy, and it would have cost like a fortune. So yeah, we're lucky that my husband is able to do it. My dad comes and helps. Some of my kids also help, but it's a lot of work. So we're wanting to put material that we won't have to demolish next time around, and that we can just clean up should this ever happen again. I'm hoping that it won't. We had our plumbing redone following this, and we installed 2 backwater things, like the flaps. I don't remember the proper term for them, but anyway, we installed 2 of them. The thing that the plumber said, though, is that those are not foolproof. If you flush in the house, it pushes open the little flap, and it takes a while for that flap to go back down, and so water can come in at that time, and if the water level is really high, it's gonna, it's gonna go in. one of the backwater system that we installed is the opposite. Like when the level increase, it closes off the valve, and the water from inside the house can get out, but the water in cannot come in either. So I'm hoping that that's gonna work. It was quite expensive. As a cousin that's a plumber, so he did a lot of the work for us. So yeah, we've been lucky through this. There's people that are much worse off than we are. We had insurance as well, so they covered a whole lot of it, but it took a toll. So and I can only imagine what some of you guys might have gone through. So if you've gone through any of this or are still going through it and still cleaning up, my heart is with you guys, and prayers sent your way. And yeah, so for all my Americans friend, I won't be posting before Thanksgiving again, so I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you spend time with your family and loved ones, and be it fur babies or humankind. And I will see you guys, I'm hoping in December sometime, and it would be nice before Christmas, or as a little Christmas present for you guys, so we'll see. But yeah, so I'm doing better. Thank you for checking up on me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon, but I don't know when exactly, and it won't be a weekly thing. So I'm hoping to do at least a monthly thing, so that you know that I will be there, but not as often. And if you miss me too much, go and look at some past videos. But you also can reach out to me via Facebook with little comments and or messages. I love to read you guys. So love you so much. Take care, and see you sometime in December probably. Bye.